So it's not a false rumor but the truth, said Tripitaka. Then he asked again. When I entered your treasured monastery just now, I saw inside the twin corridors by the gate many merchants with their mules and horses, their luggage and carts. Why are they staying here? Our mountain here is named the 100 Legs Mountain, replied the priest. In previous years it had been quite safe. Recently, however, we don't quite know what has taken place, but it may be that the seasonal cycles have produced a few centipede spirits, which have frequently injured people on the road. Though the wounds they inflict may not be lethal, they have certainly inhibited the traveler's movement. Beneath our mountain is a pass by the name of Cockcrow. People dare not walk through it until the cock has crowed. Because it's getting late now, those merchants you saw don't want to take an unnecessary risk. So they use our humble monastery for lodging, and they'll leave after the cock has crowed. We, too, will wait till the cock crows before we leave, said Tripitaka. As they chatted, more vegetarian food was brought in, so that the Tang monk and his disciples dined again. Afterwards, Tripitaka and Pilgrim went out for a leisurely stroll to enjoy a bright moon in her first quarter. A workman approached them and said, "Our venerable father teacher would like to meet the visitors from China." Turning quickly, Tripitaka saw an old monk, a bamboo staff in his hand, who saluted him, saying, "Is this the master who has come from China? I dare not accept such honor," replied Tripitaka, returning his salutation as the old monk began to compliment him effusively. "What is the old master's lofty age?" he asked. "I have passed my 45th year in vain," said Tripitaka. "And may I ask what is the honorable age of the old abbot?" With a chuckle, the old monk said, "Rather fruitlessly I have exceeded the venerable master's age by a sexagenary cycle." "You're 105 years old now," said Pilgrim. "Can you tell how old I am? Though the countenance of this master is aged," said the old priest. "Your spirit is most clear. My eyes are quite dim in the moonlight, and it's hard for me to tell your age right away." After talking for a while, they went to look at the rear corridor. Just now the old foundation of the Jetavana Park was mentioned, said Tripitaka. "Where exactly is it?" "Just beyond our rear gate," replied the old monk, and asked that it be opened immediately. All they saw was a vacant lot with a few piles of rubble remaining as the foundation of the walls. Pressing his palms together, Tripitaka sighed and said, "The good giver, Sudatta, I call to mind. With jewels and gold he relieved poor mankind. For all times Jetavana has its fame. With which arhat can we the elder find?" They all walked slowly, enjoying the sight of the moon. Having gone out of the rear gate, they reached a terrace where they sat for a while. Suddenly they heard the sound of weeping. Tripitaka listened attentively and found that the person weeping was also making protest, something about her parents not comprehending her pain. So moved was he by the words that he himself began to shed tears also. "Who is this person grieving here?" he turned to ask the other monks. On hearing this question, the old monk ordered the other priests to go back first to make tea. After everyone had left, he at once bowed low to Tripitaka and Pilgrim. Raising him, Tripitaka said, "Old abbot, why are you doing this? Since this disciple has now exceeded 100 years of age," replied the old monk. "He is somewhat knowledgeable in human affairs. In the quiet hours of meditation, moreover, he has seen a few visions. And that is why this disciple can perceive that the venerable master and his disciple are quite different from other people. For only this young master here can bring to light this grievous matter. Let's hear you tell us what the problem is," said Pilgrim. The old monk said, "Exactly on this day a year ago, your disciple was just in the midst of meditation on the dialectical relation between our nature and the moon when a soft breeze brought to me the sounds of grief and protest. I descended from my couch to go to the foundation of the Jetavana Park to look around. There I found a pretty, comely girl. I asked her, 'What family do you belong to?' Why are you here?" The girl replied, "I'm the princess of the King of India. I was enjoying the sight of flowers beneath the moon when I was blown here by a strong gust. Immediately I had her locked up in an empty room, which I sealed with bricks until it looked like a prison. There was only a small hole left in the door, through which one could pass a rice bowl. The next day I told this story to the other priests that I had imprisoned a monstrous deviate. Since we priests were men of mercy, I said, I would not take its life, and I would give the prisoner 2 meals of coarse rice and tea daily for sustenance." The girl was clever enough to understand my intentions. Fearing that she might be violated by the priests, she pretends to be mad, sleeping in her own piss and lying in her own shit. During the day she babbles all the time and puts on a dumb, stupid look. In the quiet of the night, however, she weeps and yearns for her parents. Several times I myself have tried to enter the city to make inquiry about the princess, but I have had no success whatever. For this reason, I have kept her tightly locked up and dare not release her. Now that we have the good fortune of seeing the venerable master's arrival at our kingdom, I beg you enter the capital and exercise your vast Dharma power to shed light on this matter. Not only will you thus be able to rescue the virtuous, but you will also make manifest your divine potency." Pilgrim and Tripitaka firmly committed to their memory what they had heard. As they spoke, however, 2 young priests came to invite them to tea before retiring, and so they all returned to the monastery. In the abbot's quarters 8 Rules was grumbling to Sha Monk, saying, "We have to be on our way by dawn when the cock crows. And they still won't come to bed." "Idiot," said Pilgrim. "What are you mumbling? Go to sleep," said 8 Rules. "It's so late already. What's there to look at?" Thereupon the old monk walked away, and the Tang monk retired. This is precisely the time when the moon fades, the flowers dream, and all sounds cease. The window screens let in a soft, warm breeze. Thrice has the clepsydra dropped low in sight. The Milky Way glows like the brightest light. They had not slept for very long that night when they heard the cock crow. In the front the traveling merchants all rose in a clamor as they lit their lamps and began to cook their rice. Our elder, too, woke up 8 Rules and Sha Monk so that they could saddle the horse and pack. When Pilgrim asked for lights, the priests of the monastery had already risen earlier to prepare tea and breakfast, which they waited to serve in the rear. Delighted, 8 Rules ate an entire platter of buns. Thereafter he and Sha Monk brought out the horse and the luggage, while Pilgrim and Tripitaka thanked their hosts. Again the old monk said to Pilgrim, "Don't forget that matter of the weeping girl." "Indeed, I shall not," laughed Pilgrim. "When I get to the city, I'll be able to establish the fundamental principles by listening to sounds, and determine the emotions by scrutinizing countenances." Those traveling merchants, noisy and boisterous, also followed them to the main road. By about the hour of the tiger, they passed the Cockcrow Pass, but not until the hour of the serpent did they catch sight of the city rampart. The city itself was truly like an iron cistern, or a citadel of metal, a divine islet and a heavenly prefecture. It has the noble form of a dragon coiled or a tiger sitting, with colors from phoenix towers emitting. The royal moat flows like a circling band. Mountains, flag-like, surround this blessed land. Banners at dawn light up the imperial way. Pipes and drums of springtime by bridges play. The people prosper for the king is good. 5 grains in abundance they have for food. As they moved along the street of the eastern suburb, the various merchants went off one by one to their hotels and inns. Master and disciples walked inside the city, where they came upon a college of interpreters and its post house. When Tripitaka and his companions walked in, the steward at once made this report to the clerk of the post house. "There are 4 strange-looking priests leading a white horse in here." When the post house clerk heard that there was a horse, he knew that these visitors had to be on some sort of official business. He therefore went out to the main hall to greet them. Saluting him, Tripitaka said, This humble cleric has been sent by imperial decree of the Great Tang to go see Buddha at the Great Thunderclap of the Spirit Mountain and seek scriptures. I carry with me a travel rescript that I would like to have certified at your court. I would like also to borrow your noble residence for a short rest. We shall leave the moment our affairs concluded." Returning his bow, the clerk of the posthouse said, "This official residence was established precisely for the entertainment of honored guests and messengers. It is my responsibility to extend our hospitality to you. Please come in. Please come in." A highly pleased Tripitaka at once asked his disciples to come and present their greetings. When the posthouse clerk encountered their hideous visages, he was secretly horrified, not knowing whether these beings were human or demonic. Trembling all over, he forced himself to oversee the service of tea and maigare. Tripitaka, seeing how frightened he was, said to him, "Sir, please don't be afraid. Though my 3 disciples look ugly, they all have good hearts. As the saying goes, a savage face but a kindly person. Nothing to be afraid of." Calmed by these words, the posthouse clerk asked, "National Master, where is the Tang court?" "In the land of China," replied Tripitaka. "At the South Jambudvipa continent."